Hi guys, how's it going? I'm Ali Daly and you're watching Flip It TV. Tonight I'm here in Dolan's Warehouse and I'm going to catch up with one of Ireland's best instrumental bands, God Is An Astronaut. Person lies and Lloyd, you're very welcome to Flip It TV and also to Limerick, finally.
Finally made it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
So we'll start with the topic of your name, God Is An Astronaut. Now I know it comes from the book and film Nightbreed, but like, what inspired you to actually use this as your brand name?
Well, it's me. We were probably, was it back in 1999 or year 2000? We were just watching the television and we had this idea of you know, we were doing kind of electronic instrumental stuff, and we needed a name for the group. And we were watching Nightbreed, which was Clive Barker film, and this monster says God is an astronaut. And all this over the rainbow, and mediums were monsters with and monsters is where medium lives. And I don't know. It is what it is.
Medium is where monsters live.
Whatever. and yeah, we just really like something in that. I like the whole thing, and yes, no, I have to shorten it down to God Is An Astronaut, which is pretty long as it is. But that's it just fit to our music because to us it represented. Well, it represented kind of something that was kind of futuristic, but also something that was kind of timeless at the same time. So that was kind of the aim musically that we had, you know, and I think it suits our music.
I also read somewhere that you're interested in the Swiss archaeologist Erich von Däniken, is that right?
Van Däniken.
Yeah. And where do you lie in his claims that extraterrestrial life actually exists?
It's just an interesting concept. I suppose it's, when you look at it in reality, it's just probably more plausible than the religious bullshit that goes around.
I have a feeling you're going to say that.
No. I love Richard Dawkins. Where is he?
There's plenty of things. I have it on my phone. I just want to have a look at it. There was this kind of these alien races that people came up with that is kind of supports all that. Let's see if I can find it here.
Go on.
I have it all saved up here.
Saved?
Yeah, he's a
he's
enough.
It's called Anunnaki.
Okay.
The Anunnaki.
Do you want to enlighten us?
Well, I have to read it. Okay. Earth has been seeded with the DNA of many species throughout the galaxy. The civilizations that are important you must be aware of are Atlantis, Lemuria, because of their resurfacing again or whatever. But approximately 13,000 years ago, you had Anunnaki who were stationed at Earth, basically. Which the idea of it is that they tampered with the monkeys, basically, to create the human race. So that's basically, and there's actually kind of. They outdate the Aztecs and all this kind of stuff, so they have all kind of statues in Iraq of these so-called creatures. So that's a factor. They do actually have statues of these. So whether it's all bullshit or not is another thing.
Your music has kind of reached out to people all over the world. It really has.
It's spread really far.
Yeah, it has. But like, I think your popularity is kind of more so in other countries than it is Ireland. Can you explain that?
I think it's kind of it's kind of evenly spread. I think overall, it's just that, you know, when you're talking about Europe, you've just got so many different countries. You know, and when you're going on to the mainland Europe, you can get to Germany, to Poland, to Italy. You know, where Ireland is kind of, it just feels like it's not a part of Europe sometimes because it's on its own.
I think there's more. There's a perception that we're not popular. It's just more the press. We're not popular with the press, but the press don't know really report on what happens. Like, we have played sold-out shows from Russia.
We're starting to get better.
To the States, we sold out a show in Hollywood,
Istanbul.
San Francisco, but
sure, isn't that what we're here for?
Yeah,
so
that's where. Yeah, but we've done well, you know. And sometimes the Irish press would tend to kind of report what does extremely well, you know, here, and sometimes England as well. But we don't do kind of. Like, we do okay with the English press and stuff like that, but we're not like the next, you know, Arctic Monkeys or whatever, you know. So I think the Irish press kind of feeds pretty much off the English press sometimes, and it doesn't really report what's going well on the ground in England. I mean, our show for London is pretty much going to be sold out for sure, and that's doing a whole lot better than anywhere else. So I mean, England is really good for us. It's just that the information doesn't travel back necessarily to Ireland because, you know, they're looking at NME or whatever to get that information.
Yeah. But to date, you've released 5 albums, all on your own record label, your own brand. Like, have you ever considered a licensing deal, or do you think this would interfere with your own?
We have done licensing deals with Rocker Girl, which is a London-based label. She was looking after.
She managed My Bloody
Valentine for a while, so we've done that back in 2006. We've done several licensing deals in Japan, Taiwan,
Happy Prince, was it? Happy Prince
China. We've done a lot of things. Just like the primary record was also released on our own label, and then we would license out from our label.
I think that the biggest problem when you license that stuff, it's very hard to keep an eye on how many records you're actually selling. They can just keep printing them up without actually telling you. We found every time that you sell, like you say, you do a deal for 2,000 records. They never sell that to 2,000 as far as I know. Yet they're really interested in giving us a bigger deal the next time around, just makes you start thinking, you know. So it's like giving them a license to print up as many records as they want. There's no way of really finding it. I'm not accusing them of that, I don't know. But the problem is, anytime we do it ourselves, we seem to make a lot more sales and do a lot better off our own store.
So you're quite control freaks in that sense.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think, you know, you see, you get the money pretty much quicker when you're doing it yourself. Otherwise, you're just waiting for them for their accounts and all that kind of stuff. And I think when you do a certain degree that yourself, you use less overheads and you can put more money into your pockets at the end of it.
So that's a bit of advice you give to other bands out there.
I think so. I mean, people just don't want to believe how to do it. They think you need some type of special guy that knows somebody else to get in there and do all this. It's bull crap. All you need to do is write your music and, you know, do a few Last FM campaigns and let people hear it.
Exactly.
People let you know real fast whether they like your stuff or not. There's no, I mean, for example, it's not by accident Caspian are a popular band and we're a popular band. People like the music, you know. I mean, it's people decide, not us, you know. And a lot of other bands can get jealous of bands like us, thinking, oh, they must have got a big, huge push.
I think what the guy from Motorhead said the best, Lemmy says, you just need to raise your flag as high as you can, which is your music, and then let people decide whether they like it or not.
You know, because
so,
I mean, we get, you know, judged badly and good, you know, every kind of judgment we receive, you know what I mean? So some people hate us and some people like us. There's nothing we can do about it. So all I know is enough people like us for us to have some kind of career. So we're lucky enough that way.
The Age of the Fifth Sun was out in March. I have to say I love that album name. I think it's brilliant, like, because we are actually in the Age of the Fifth Sun, or coming to an end of it.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of, you know, I looked at the whole was the Mayan prophecies and we were kind of interested in that, but it was the 5th album. I just thought it was kind of I think personally we won't be at the end. I think it'll continue on, but it's still something.
Somebody actually wanted me to ask you that.
Yeah, no, I
have to bring out another album.
I have to bring another one out, yes. I can't be over just yet. No, I have another album on the way, so I've written 3 tracks. So
Is another album coming?
Yeah, it's probably out 2012. It's an experimental record. It's all made out of noise and feedback. It just kind of, there's no kind of guitar work as such. It's just total noise recorded, like 3-4 hours of noise, and then I would cut parts of that and try to make a track out of it. And it's taken very long because I don't like style over content, so it's taken very long to get really good melodies out of that. So the idea is just to make a record that people just don't know what it is, which kind of goes back to originally what our concept was with the first album, because back then, you know, when we had that synth in the beginning, synth and all, you hadn't really heard anything like that, you know. So this whole record is, the new one's going to be stylistically going to be very hard to put where you place it, you know. So we're hoping that it's kind of a new start in a weird way. It's still us, but I can tell you it's going to be radically different when we play it live. The idea of it is a kind of a weird concept, but when we stick these tracks in live, it'll almost sound like the PA system's on fire. That was the whole point of it. Just the whole thing is just going to sizzle to a point where it's really noisy and just almost like an effect. It's just total different idea. So we're hoping that it'll work, but we'll still obviously keep doing our old stuff as well.
Oh, we don't want to miss out on that as well.
No, so it's really just like a whole. It's in one way it's much more kind of narrowed down. It's just like we're just going to go for one thing for this whole record. But a lot of our old records we've thrown a bit of ambience in, we've thrown a bit of, you know,
melody as well. Right?
Yeah, well, the melody will still be there, you know, but we've had different styles. But this record's just going to be the one kind of form. So we're just hoping.
Really looking forward to hearing that. Something different and new.
We just felt that if we did one more guitar arpeggio or one more piano track that actually would take the piss out of stuff that we had written, and I never felt that we had overdone it. But when I started writing this album and I had a kind of a guitar arpeggio again, for the first time it hit me. I said, shit, I can't do that anymore. And I shelved 4 or 5 tracks immediately just because it sounded reminiscent stylistically of what we've done before. So we're hoping that this new approach, people will like it. But we're also, some people will probably hate it, that like our stuff, but there's no way of avoiding it. I think if we kept on doing exactly what we were doing, it'd be worse, I think, at this point. So I think it needed to take this kind of departure in order for the band. It was either that I was seriously considering finishing it, because writing wise, it just ran its course. I can't explain it, and I sat there for a long time figuring, is there anything else that we could do? I was not going to put out the same kind of record that we did before. We did loads of, we did The End Beginning, which was kind of a loop and synth-based record, and when Lloyd joined the band, we did kind of drums and electronics mixed in. And then for Far From Refuge, it was really Lloyd's concept. We kind of looked at a lot of old Pink Floyd stuff, and we were kind of fascinated with how organically they made that record. And then with the self-titled, it was just balls to the wall, kind of heavy rock kind of stuff. And then this other one, The Last Mage of the Fifth Son, to me was kind of a nod to A Moment of Stillness and All Is Violent, but kind of matured it a little bit more than those albums. And but I felt that kind of had completed everything. Just to me, that was people think, oh, they can't do anything different, they just kind of do, but they're wrong, and they're going to learn on the next record that we can actually change things beyond what
That's very interesting. I really wasn't expecting to hear you say that.
Yeah, so I remember listening to when ISIS said they were quitting, and I can understand immediately why, because it's so hard to do something different, and we really felt that this time, if I couldn't change something, that it would have been just pointless to continue. It really would just become a parody of yourself. I don't want to do that. So this time we're taking, it's a big risk, and I'm going to take my time doing it. I don't want anybody kind of looking at it and saying, Jesus, they're crap now, so I really want to take my time. And it's not doing something like, oh, we're going to go a bit dance. It's nothing like that. It's just literally just a total tonal experience. So we're hoping. So
maybe 2012 would be a good time to release that then.
Yeah,
new age, new beginning.
New beginning, yeah.
I usually, when I get to this point of an interview, okay, I usually ask a band for an embarrassing story, but I'm not going to do that to you. Unless you want to feed me something.
I can't remember any embarrassing stories.
He can't remember because he was passed out for a few days.
Do you want to hear about not remembering something? Okay, so I am actually a big God Is An Astronaut fan, to be honest with you. And so I travelled all the way down to Cork to see you a few years ago, and you played everything from the new album at that time, which would have been God Is An Astronaut, the self-titled album.
Oh yeah.
I was so blown away by that gig that once you finished playing, I hopped up on stage and I gave you all a hug and I asked you to sign my ticket, which I brought with me. This is it. And Thorsten is the only one that actually signed it for me. So I brought it along with me tonight.
Oh my God.
You probably ran away from me. That's it there now.
Oh, that's mine, yeah.
Oh, there's one.
You'll not have to sign it up to finish it off now.
I did get nice hugs though. So.
Yeah, at least that's...
I have no pen now.
Guys, thank you so much. It's been really interesting to talk to you, and I wish you all the very best with the new album. Fingers crossed for it, and really looking forward to the gig as well.
Thanks very much.